was given the full update on this thing because of that biohazard, you know. And you just heard.
They parked the plane at the airport in Dublin.
Yeah.
And I think we had 2 extra nights because they couldn't find a plane and a crew. You know how these things go. And eventually they put us on the same plane.
Oh, the exact
same plane 2 days later.
Mm-hmm. That's right. You missed the next day, too.
Yeah.
Remember, I said I went to his office and I said,
I don't know if you're taking roll.
Man.
But if you are, someone's not present again.
2 days in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember our new general manager said, I thought it was just like a plane issue. I said, man, I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there. Ireland.
Don't worry, I put it down in his permanent folder. We have those here? I do.
I keep permanent.
Yeah, it's unofficial,
but on these things, you know, it's not like a thing in management, but I have them. There's your update. The guy had to ditch because of an odor.
If I had to guess, they'll never find the source.
I would not. Were you nervous getting back on that same plane? I would be.
Not really. I mean,
but if it happened again, it'd be like, well, good Lord, you know. I guess they must have tested.
I mean, I assume it's something mechanical.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's going to be food.
Yeah.
Or something that someone ate.
But for something, I mean, you had a bad odor. These people were throwing up. I mean, it was bad enough. They were in the air. I mean,
and the crew.
And the crew was throwing up.
So, maybe they'll find it was something they all ate pre-flight, but who knows?
Well,
chicken, fish.
Might have been the fish.
Starts with the slight fever, dryness of the throat. As the virus penetrates the red blood cells, the victim becomes dizzy. Begins to experience an itching, a rash. From there, the poison goes to work on the central nervous system, causing severe muscle spasms, followed by the inevitable drooling. At this point, the entire digestive system collapses, accompanied by uncontrollable flatulence, until finally the poor bastard is reduced to a quivering, wasted piece of jelly.
That's right. That's what it's like in that plane. Thank God they got on the ground in Washington, D.C. That's all I'll say. I played that clip for our boss in 2013 when you were.
Is this the kind of humor you do here? It is. Every day?
Well, sometimes it's
Every
lowbrow.
day.
Right. Sometimes we go lower brow than that. Sometimes. Not always, though. There's an update also on Deadpool and Wolverine. It is the 6th biggest opening of all time, regardless of rating. You know, it was the biggest opening all time for an R-rated movie. It now has been adjusted for $211 million on its first weekend. I'm so glad to see movies back at the theater doing well.
Why?
I don't know.
Because it reminds you of your youth?
I haven't been to the theater in 2 years. But
and every time you go, you grouse.
Every time. The price. the price is awful. I can't ever find anybody.
Yeah.
The
assigned seats, my ass.
Ridiculous. You got to go on some app to get a ticket now. You pay extra for that. It's awful. But I'm so glad that the people in the theaters are doing well. That's what it means a lot.
Our nation's ushers.
It means a lot to me. Exactly.
Our nation's concessionaires and ushers.
They're doing well. They're doing well now. Speaking of movies, Biggie and I both watched the documentary called Brats. Andrew McCarthy put it together about the Brat Pack from the 1980s. Stars of the movies, Pretty in Pink, St. Elmo's Fire, Breakfast Club. These were the big hits. And the Brat Pack, Biggie had it narrowed down to, 6 or 7 people. At that time, we heard there was just a little conversation about St. Elmo's Fire Part 2. And I will go to the theater for St. Elmo's Fire Part 2.
Solemn Vow?
Solemn Vow. I would be there for that.
Really?
Now, yeah, I would go to that.
Well, they call it St. Elmo's Ashes?
St. Elmo's Ashes. They'll probably attend the funeral of one of them, is my guess. Well, the one that won't do it, they'll go to his or her funeral.
Yeah.
Judd Nelson.
Judd Nelson won't do it, they'll go to his funeral. Okay, perfect. They all get back together.
Well, that's the big chill. That's the plot of the big chill.
It's exactly the big chill. That's true. Rob Lowe says, yeah, we're talking about it.
Studio and I have been talking about doing it for about 4 months. Brat's only added to the excitement around it, but it's very, 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 very early stages. Right. So we will see.
All right.
That means he had lunch.
Okay.
Wouldn't it be cool?
With one guy.
Yeah, it would be cool. Right.
Can I get an egg white omelet, please?
Apparently, Rob was sitting alongside his son, John Owen Lowe, doing an ET interview when he was talking about that, and John Owen Lowe accidentally referred to it as St. Elmer's Fire. And Rob had to look at him cross-eyed and say, "Don't you dare!
That's not funny.
Don't mess this up."
Elmo.
It's
Elmo.
Elmo's Fire, which I enjoyed, and I would be in the theaters for that
Okay.
if it happens. But as Rob just said,
Very, 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 very early.
Yeah.
early.
And why are those two doing
press?
They're all over doing interviews a lot of different places.
They have a new comedy series called Unstable premiering on Netflix in the near future. So they're in it together.
Okay.
I know those two. Dave has said many times that when Rob Lowe will post something on Instagram or wherever, his son will make fun of what he posted.
Yeah.
And so those two have like a good little comedy.
Oh, it's like you and your son, Kelly.
Oh, man.
Big time.
He's getting his braces off, by the way.
Oh, Jesus.
8 short
For sophomore
years later,
Okay.
he came home from
I forgot he had
you
braces.
forgot he had them. He had an orthodontist appointment yesterday. He called me and he said, "What? One more visit," and he gets the braces taken off.
Well, we know the orthodontist just gave up at one point. Has the braces worked this time, or has the orthodontist just said, "It's out of my hands"?
I think he's basically saying, "All right, we've tortured your parents
You
long
beat me.
enough. You beat me." He's retiring. The orthodontist is retiring. He's
No one else knows how to take these off.
exactly.
He's named his boat the Kelly.
Yeah, right. I mean, first he had Invisaligns, and after about a year, the orthodontist said, "I've never seen these fail like this. You cannot. You beat me on this."
This is amazing.
Are you wearing them? Well, no.
That part is still my favorite.
Yeah. No, I'm not wearing.
Are you wearing them? Not at all.
No. Oh well.
Why are my teeth not moving, Doc?
The Invisaligns you can take in and out, of course. They're not permanent. So he said, "Let's go braces. So you have no option. They must be worn." And he's had the braces now 7 years. And I forget too. I forgot. So when he called me and said,
So when I saw him at his graduation party, he had braces?
Oh, yeah.
I don't even remember that.
Oh, he's still, because they blend in now. He's had them so
Yeah.
long. He's had them half his life.
It's part of the furniture.
Exactly. So he called me and said, "How they going to hate me now? Braces coming off in 2 months." And I was like,
This is not
well,
a celebratory time.
yeah. Don't put as much on the flexible spending account next year.
Yeah.
The braces are coming off. I said, hallelujah.
Yeah.
Finally, the brace.
You might get a slight raise, a little bump.
Now, Lord knows what his teeth will look like under the braces. And he's planning during fall break this year to visit his friend in Knoxville at the University of Tennessee for a football game. And he goes, yesterday he said, "If I could get to Knoxville without no tracks, what?" He goes,
Does it mean the baddies will just fall in line?
he's like, how the baddies going to avoid me when I got no tracks? And I said, yes, I think
AI, translate that.
he's taking the tracks off. In 2 months, they'll be gone. It's Drew Barrymore who's been accused by some of her viewers as being cringe because she sits too close to the people she's interviewing.
Yeah, I've seen clips of that. I don't watch her show.
I don't
but
either. Yeah,
that's just Drew, I think, at this point.
I saw it when she called Kamala Harris Mamala. She was right in her lap.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
Kamala stepped up, when Joe stepped down.
Yes.
You saw that clip everywhere, and it's beyond cringe.
And now, apparently, she had Austin Butler, star of the Elvis movie, talking about his new project called Masters of the Air. And when he was there, she was even closer to him. And a lot of people are saying, get out of the guest's laps.
He's back, girl.
Yeah, he's back. Exactly. They're saying it's too. And a lot of people are calling her cringe, Drew Barrymore.
That's just Drew.
I guess that's just what she does. I wonder if she'll listen to that and move over a little bit or just stay right on him.
Well, you know what she'll do? If I was Drew or her producers, I'd talk about it and show clips, cry, and then the audience will say, and she'll say to the audience, "Do you want me to sit back? Do you want me to sit closer?"
Yeah. They'll cheer for her.
They'll just keep her moving closer.
Yeah,
She'll
probably.
start on the far end of the couch.
Yeah.
And scoot back.
One person put on Twitter, talk about invasive. She's straddling the poor guy. She's all over him. Apparently, they've got clips of his face like, get away. Get away from
Yeah, well,
me.
because not everybody's that way, that they want you up on them.
I'm friend Chris Demm doesn't want people.
No, yeah,
that
personal
fear.
space.
It's personal space. I mean, she really shouldn't be that close. I'll never forget when our colleague gave Chris Demm a little back and shoulder massage, just right behind.
Out of the blue.
Out of the blue, she came in and started massaging his shoulders. I could see his face. She couldn't, and he was like, he didn't.
Yeah,
want it.
that's not his thing.
She used to drink out of my Diet Coke cans, though.
Oh,
Without asking.
She had boundary issues.
She'd take a swig. I love her, but she'd take a swig. I'd get a Diet Coke, and she'd always work near me, and she'd grab it and take a swig.
Mm-hmm.
She was my best friend then, Biggie. It's like you and I are. And we can.
How long did she last?
Golly.
I mean, because I'm at breaking point.
She's been gone a long time. You and I are best friends here on International Best Friend Day, and we've decided to celebrate it
It's
together.
a stretch.
We're going to be celebrating all day today by telling each other what we really think of each other.